Good morning, guys. Welcome to today's lesson, May 7th. Delta Math, we're really just going to take a look at a bunch of review questions. Make sure that you get 100% on this week's Delta Math that is due tonight at 8 o'clock. Questions are copy and pasted directly from Delta Math, all these new skills. Alright, so if you had any questions on any of them, you can see me go through a few with you. Okay, so the first couple deal with GCF Factoring and dots. We always check for GCF Factoring first. Alright, the first expression, 36x minus 27, there is a common factor. Also, really wouldn't be dots because they are not perfect squares. 36 is a perfect square, but 36x is not, 27 is not. I know it's subtraction, but there's no perfect squares there. But we check for GCF first. There is a common factor between 36 and 27, so what's the largest number that goes into both 36 and 27 evenly? That is 9. One of them has an x, one of them doesn't, so just 9. So let's divide each term by 9. Make sure you put the 9 on the outside of the parentheses. 36x divided by 9 is equal to 4x. And negative 27 divided by 9 is negative 3. Also think about how you can check your answer if you wanted to distribute it. Just make sure you get the original. 9 times 4x is 36x. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27, so you're good to go. Alright, next one. So 121 minus x squared. Is there a GCF? Hopefully you're thinking no, there is not a GCF. Alright, and these are perfect squares. 121 is a perfect square, that equals to 11. And x squared is also a perfect square, that equals to x. Because x times x gives you x times itself, right? It gives you x squared. Alright, so you ready to this time 2 sets of parentheses. Put your 11, and your x, and remember with dots, it ends up with 1 positive and 1 negative. And you will see very, very similar examples when you work on your Delta Math if you haven't yet. Alright, so the section in Delta Math, combine like terms. They give you some real lengthy expression. We just have to look for like terms and combine them. 5y to the third, so is there anything else with y to the third power? We have negative 4y to the third. And we have positive 4y to the third. Alright, what else? Y squared. Anything else with y squared? I see negative 3y squared and also negative 2y squared. Alright, and then we have x. No like terms for x. It'd be helpful to write them next to each other, showing your work. 5y to the third minus 4y to the third plus 4y to the third. Then we have our y squared terms. And we have that x as well. Alright, so what's 5y to the third minus 4y to the third plus 4y to the third? Well, really, the negative 4y to the third and positive 4y to the third would just cancel each other out, so we'd be left with 5y to the third power. Alright, your y squared terms, 7y squared minus 3y squared minus 2y squared. So 7 minus 3 is 4, minus 2 is 2, so plus 2y squared. And then we also have that plus x on the end there, and we're done. So remember, like terms, they have to have the same variable and the same exponent. Not just same variable and same exponent. Adding and subtracting, so find the sum. The sum tells us that this is addition. So take the one expression and add it to the other expression. Now, guys, this is very simply the exact same thing as what we just did, combining like terms. Okay, so 2x squared, like term with 9x squared, negative 8x, and nothing else. No like terms for negative 8x, but we have like terms negative 6 and negative 8. All right, let's combine our x squared terms. 2x squared and 9x squared makes 11x squared. Negative 8x has nothing. Okay, and then combine your constants, your numbers by themselves, so negative 6 minus 8. If you don't know it, throw it in your calculator. No shame in that. All right, be minus 14. And you're done. All right, now subtraction. Very simply, just like combining like terms. However, this time with subtraction, there is a negative 1 in front of the second expression. So remember, we distribute that. And all that does is change the signs. The first expression, you just rewrite it. The second expression, because there's a negative in front of it, just change the signs. So negative 2x squared becomes positive 2x squared. Negative 4x becomes positive 4x. And positive 7 becomes negative 7. Just change the signs. Like terms, negative 3x squared and positive 2x squared. Negative 9x and positive 4x. Positive 5 and negative 7. All right, combine your like terms. Negative 3x squared plus 2x squared. That would just be negative x squared. And what that really is, guys, that's negative 1. All right, because negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So, and you'll see it written as negative x squared. They won't put the 1 there, but you can. All right, so negative x squared. Now you have your x terms. Negative 9x plus 4x is negative 5x. And then 5 minus 7, 5 and negative 7 makes negative 2. All right, and we're not actually going to go through this one fully where it says subtract 3x plus 9 from 5x squared minus 7x, but you might get a question like that in that section of Delta Math. And it's a little bit tricky whenever it's worded like this. We're taking 3x plus 9 from 5x squared minus 7x. So you might have just threw a subtraction sign in between this. However, you really write the second term first. It would be 5x squared minus 7x. And now we're subtracting 3x plus 9. Alright, because we're taking 3x plus 9 away from that 5x squared minus 7x, and it's the same exact type of question. The negative 1, distribute it, change the signs, combine like terms, and you're good to go. Alright. Distributive property, that's just a term next to a set of parentheses, and you take that term to everything on the inside of the parentheses. So 6x squared times negative 7x squared. So you have to think to yourself, what's 6 times negative 7? That's negative 42. And what's x squared times x squared? Remember, you add your exponents, so keep the x, and then add the exponents. 2 plus 2 is 4. Next, 6x squared minus, not minus, 6x squared times negative 8x. So 6 times negative 8 is negative 48. Now x squared times x, remember that x is to the first power, so 2 and 1 makes 3, so x to the third power. And now 6x squared times 7 is just positive 42x squared. And you are done. No like terms, because they're all x's, but x's with different exponents. Alright, multiplication of two binomials, and they'll say to express it as a trinomial. Alright, it just means it's going to come out with 3 terms. But anyway, it's a 2 by 2 box here. (2x plus 7) and x minus 10. So 2x times x, don't forget about your invisible 1's, guys. This is a 1 in front here, an exponent, right? So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 10 is negative 20x. Now 7 times x is 7x. And 7 times negative 10 is negative 70. You do have some like terms, your x terms there. So we end up with 2x squared minus 20x plus 7x minus 70. Just don't forget about those like terms. So we write 2x squared. Now what's negative 20x plus 7x? That would be negative 13x, which is negative 20 plus 7. And you have that minus 70 on the end here. Always just, guys, be careful with your signs. Negative 20 and positive. You might not know what negative 20 plus 7 is. That is fine. Throw it in your calculator. You get negative 13. Just don't forget about the x as well. All right, and now polynomial long division. You only have to do one of these, but this is really what you want to get practice in. This is the most challenging thing I've taught you up to this point. It is a real Algebra 2 question, like flat out. The question could say this on your Regents next June. Alright, so it's good to practice now. But we're finding out what's 3x cubed plus 5x squared plus 11x plus 6 divided by 3x plus 2. So 3x plus 2 goes on the outside of your house. And remember the three letters that we're going with. DMS, divide, multiply, subtract. When we divide, we take the first terms, 3x cubed, divide by the first term, 3x. Those are just the first terms in each expression. That gives you x squared. After you divide those first terms, whatever you get, you throw that up top. Now you multiply, whatever you got there, multiply by everything that's on the outside. So x squared times 3x is 3x to the third power. X squared times 2 is 2x squared. And s, subtract, that just changes your sign. So that's negative now, and this is now also negative. Remember, those first terms are going to cancel always. So what we're left with here is 5x squared minus 2x squared, which is 3x squared. Now back to divide. Whatever we ended up with, which is 3x squared, divide that by that first term again, which is 3x. You're always dividing over to the right here in blue, you're always dividing by the same thing. It's that value on the outside, 3x. So 3x squared divided by 3x is just x. So we have plus x. Now we need to multiply x by everything. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Now subtract, change your signs. So this is negative and this is negative. Don't forget, now we have to bring down this 11x. These cancel, and what we're left with is 11x minus 2x, which is 9x. Alright, first term again, or what resulted there was 9x. Now divide that by the first term, which was 3x. 9x divided by 3x is just 3. Throw that up top. Now multiply 3 by everything on the outside. 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times 2 is 6. Change your signs for subtraction. And don't forget to bring down this 6. (9x minus 9x), that's gone now. And what we're left with is we brought down a 6, and we have a minus 6, so you have nothing left over. 6 minus 6, 0. So no remainder or nothing. You don't have to write it in any weird way on Delta Math. Okay, there really, on this section, there shouldn't be any remainders. Okay, so you end up with x squared plus x plus 3, and you're done. Okay, so make sure you get 100% on this Delta Math. Ask me questions and remind. These questions are literally exactly the way you're going to see it. It's just going to be different numbers. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day. Delta Math is due tonight at 8 o'clock, and I'll see you mañana.